Hello there. This is Mary Angela Moore for Crazy Talks with Wise People. Indeed, our guest for today is really crazy because, well, he's an architect celebrity, not only in the Philippines, but in the entire Asia, not only in Asia, but in the whole world. I'm really so humbled because he was featured by Forbes Magazine, and he was named as the 48th Heroes of Philanthropy in Asia, but third in the Philippines. I also have read him being featured in local newspapers and magazines here. He guested in big mass media outfits like CNN. So I'm really so humbled that he's here with us today. He is the principal architect and urban planner and founder of Palafox Associates and president and founder of Palafox Architect Group. Architect Palafox has lectured in more than 20 countries across the globe, including institutions like MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and Harvard. He has traveled and observed more than 1,000 cities in 79 countries. Very phenomenal, isn't it? 49 years of experience in architecture and 47 years in planning. He was among those architects responsible in the development of Dubai. If you, yeah, I also have, I did a little research. You did not put it in your bio, Architect Palafox, but I did a little research about you and I found out that you're a friend of the Prince of Dubai. And when Dubai was still not that developed as it is now, you were among those that the king of Dubai had consulted so that you'll be able to share your knowledge as to how to develop Dubai as it is now. So you're one of the brains of Dubai. Okay, so he started his education from Christ the King College. I think he wanted to be a priest. I mean, Christ the King Seminary. I think he wanted to be a priest, but he ended up at University of Santo Tomas and University of the Philippines, two top universities here in this country, and he became an architect. But he does many things aside from being an architect. He does philanthropy, he does environment, he does he is also an author of a book. He also is a columnist. Oh my goodness, rolled into one. um well, I should also call him doctor because he was given this Doctor of Fine Arts honoris causa by he was conferred honoris causa by Royal Institute of Singapore and Royal Institute of Architects in Singapore and Royal Institute of Development Consultants for Singapore and Royal Institute of Town and Regional Platters of Singapore. Actually, I his credential is like 1 mile long or 10 mile long, and I wouldn't be able to finish this podcast if I'm going to read everything. So I think I already had given justice, to our guest and to who he is, and we are so humbled and honored to have him at TBC in TV. Architect Palafox, please greet our audience.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ma'am Mary Angela Moore, for the very generous introduction. I celebrate this year my half a century of architecture, 50
Oh,
years as an architect, and the seminary, UST, UP, and Harvard. So it takes three universities and a seminary to educate me. And
yes.
thank
Mm.
God, I think I had so many blessings because I may have been at the right place at the right time and given many opportunities that I was able to have uh, improve the quality of life in 40 countries. And for Dubai, I was invited and name hired by Sultan Khalifa Al Habtour of Dubai in 1976. I was 36 years old. At that time, I was team leader and senior planner for the World Bank funded Metro Manila Transport Land Use and Development Planning Project, and also project officer for the Manila Bay Region UNDP funded project. So somehow somebody from Dubai learned about what I was doing. So I was invited and named hard. I reported to work April 1977 because I have to respect my contract with the Philippine government. And I was the youngest, the only Filipino,
Yeah. I saw that.
Southeast
I saw your
Asian
feature.
architect,
Yes.
urban planner. And
Mm-hmm.
I work with among the senior staffers, architects, planners, engineers. I was the only Filipino, Southeast Asian, and most of the others were Europeans and Americans. And
Yes, I saw that too. You're the only Filipino and you were very
and
young.
then
Yeah.
they were so
Yeah.
generous. I brought my family with me. They give us a very generous package, including
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
villa
Mm-hmm.
and opportunity to go around the world 1 month for every year of service. So a lot of my traveling also is help my education, my experience and
Yes.
expertise.
Great. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. Remember when every time I call you, we wouldn't be able to finish, because we can talk a lot about your achievements. But for today specifically, I really like to speak about, or let's talk about one special decision that you made that even cost you to be sued for billions of dollars. But and aside from that, you said no to a huge amount of income because you wanted to save a 5-year-old tree. Who among us can do that? You wanted to save a 5-year-old tree, just one 5-year-old tree, and so you let go of a project that would mean millions of dollars of earnings for you, and at the same time you you were brave enough to face a lawsuit just because you wanted to save a tree.
Yeah,
That's unusual. You see,
yeah,
a lot of people nowadays, you see, that's why we've got forest denudation, because a lot of people would cut trees just so they'd be able to earn a lot of money for themselves. But you did not. You said no to money and you said no to honor. You were sued by a government official because you said no in cutting a 500-year-old tree. How? Okay, so first of all, I would like, I just give them a bird's eye view, if you'd like to, about that project,
yeah.
please.
Let me. It's 366 70-year-old trees. The
Oh, 366. Okay.
urban
Uh,
forest of Subic.
uh-huh.
And our clients, they're very good clients, but they were able to get a tree cutting permit from the authorities. And
From the
yeah,
DNR.
not DNR, SBMA, Subic
Uh-huh.
authorities.
Mm.
And my conscience could not accept it. And we could have designed the six-star hotel, uh, preserving the trees, 366 70-year-old trees. And we have done architecture for the trees are become part of the building. But I was instructed to cut down
Cut. Oh.
366 70-year-old trees. And
Uh-huh.
a 70-year-old tree, the replacement value is about 12 million pesos.
Uh-huh.
Oxygen that the tree gave us for 70 years. The
Uh-huh.
fertilizer gave planet Earth. The
Uh-huh.
rainwater harvested. The beauty and cooling effect gave the environment. So my conscience could
Uh-huh.
not accept it.
Uh-huh.
And so I gave up the contract and I got sued for 50 million pesos. And one thing I learned from the seminary is if you see something wrong and you do nothing, it's like a sin of omission.
Oh, sin of omission. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
So do we also sin against the planet? Do we sin against the
yeah,
trees?
of course.
Oh.
And to me, so 12 million pesos per 70-year-old tree times
Uh-huh.
370 times 300 66 trees,
Uh-huh.
it's more than the $1 million architect's fee.
Oh.
So I gave it up, and
Mm-hmm.
and maybe the core values I my parents inculcated in me, the they were missionaries, my mentors in the seminary, and
Uh-huh.
generally our core values at Palafox. We borrowed the
The
environment,
family core value. Uh,
family, and Christian
and
values, and
the
so
Christian values,
yeah,
yes.
we borrowed the environment from future generations.
Mm-mm.
That's the description of Native American Indians, if she have
Yes, yes, yes.
sustainability. And
Mhm.
we just borrow this from future generations, the environment.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
the urban forest is still there. And
Oh,
many
yeah. Uh-huh.
supported me, friends from the media, even international media,
Mhm.
and the local media, and the indigenous peoples,
Mhm.
together with the Americans, planted those trees. At that time,
Mhm.
70 years ago or 80 years ago today. And,
Mhm.
and it was a tough decision. It's not easy to do that. And that's not the first time that we gave up projects. I've given up so many projects, billions worth of projects, when they destroy the environment, they create too much traffic and too much impact, threshold of the utilities. I've given them up. And, and I can sleep better at night by doing that. And of course, it impacts on the bonuses of my staffers, my colleagues at Palafox, and they understood it. When I made that decision, I told them.
How many architects can do that nowadays? How many engineers can say no to a project if it's if it's not what do you call that? If it's not beneficial for everyone, how
Yeah,
many architects can do that?
yeah. In fact, at Palafox, everything we do is for God, country, and planet Earth.
For God,
God,
country, and
planet
planet.
Earth.
Oh,
So, Pro
okay.
Deo, Patria, et Terra. And we
Uh-huh.
also have our integral ecology, we call it, in
Okay.
accepting projects
Uh-huh.
like
Uh-huh.
uh, people first or social equity, job
Uh-huh.
creation, poverty alleviation. And
Uh-huh.
we can talk about planet Earth or the environment. Then
Uh-huh.
consider prosperity, profit, and economic goals without forgetting culture, history, and heritage,
Without forgetting culture, history, environment. These are very
and
ideal.
also faith, spirituality.
And spirituality. Wow.
Many of my
Okay.
decisions, I go back to the scriptures, Holy Bible.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and I think my connection to my seminary days and big decisions I make, I look at the appropriate verse. Like if you read the Bible, 366 times it says, "Do not be afraid, fear not."
Do
And
not be afraid, fear not.
those were 363, 366 70-year-old trees.
Ah. Okay, June. Yeah, do not be afraid, fear not. That's why you're not afraid to say no, right? And I think you were sued
Yeah, I was
by
told
someone
50 million pesos.
by 50 million pesos
Yeah,
by a
yeah,
powerful person.
yeah.
But how did you get out of the lawsuit?
The case was dismissed,
The
and
case was dismissed. Okay, he was yeah, he was sued by a powerful person because he did not cut the trees because it well, he was supposed to be commissioned to build a hotel, right? A five-star hotel in a place where there are a lot of trees that, like 300 plus years old trees that he needs to cut. So he refused. So then he was sued
yeah,
and he got
six-star
out with it.
hotel, 6-star hotel, not 5-star.
Oh, a six-star hotel in Subic Bay. Subic Bay, yeah, here in the Philippines, right? So, okay, so June, how did you get out of that lawsuit?
Yeah, thanks to the justice system, they dismissed the case.
They
Yeah,
dismissed your
I
case.
still have
Oh,
I still have legal cases for allegedly for telling the truth, allegedly maligning the good names of the corrupt. Because to me, if we look at corruption, we should be in the top 20 economies of the world.
mm-hmm.
In fact, the little Latin that I've learned in the seminary,
Uh-uh.
the word corruption comes from two Latin words,
Uh-uh.
or the heart. Rapture,
Core means heart.
heart, or
Uh-huh.
rapture means to break.
To break the heart. So
Yeah,
corruption is breaking the heart.
yeah, and
Oh,
also corrupture, breaking down together. So because of corruption, we are a broken-hearted nation, breaking down
oh,
together as a country. So,
oh.
and addressing corruption is a corporal works of mercy because the worst sufferers of corruption are the poorest of the poor. So you actually get graces and blessings for fighting corruption.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're blessed. I mean, look at your business and look at your reputation around the world. Never mind those envious people who speak ill about you, because I know that they're just envious because you've been reaping a lot of awards and you've been reaping a lot of projects and you're being honored by powerful people. So I'm sure that those people who malign you are those who are there are actually two people who malign other people. First is those people who cannot tell you what to do, and those people who like to fool you but cannot fool you, and of course the third are the envious ones. So, anyways, so
Actually,
June.
I
Uh,
pray for them
mhm.
before I sleep, and I
Oh,
forgive
oh,
them.
oh,
And you know, it closed one door of opportunity, what I
mhm,
gave up, but it
mhm,
opened more windows of opportunity because it
mm.
became. I think I was the first architect in the world who would ever do that, and some
Mhm.
are saying there's a crazy architect in the Philippines who gave up $1 million to save the trees. First
To
time
save a tree, yeah.
that
Mm.
comment from a foreign correspondent, and
Yeah,
and
CNN, right? From
yeah,
CNN.
I will not mention anymore. It just that even local media, both
Yeah, I think I also read that from Inquirer.
then some there was a columnist who said, "Not all Filipinos are for sale. We have a June
Yeah,
Pact."
definitely. Not all Filipinos are for sale.
Then
There's
after,
a saying, right, na di baling magdildil ng asin. Wag lang
yeah, of course,
madumisan. Yes,
yeah,
or
of course,
something like that. Yeah.
I'm a victim of professional jealousies and crab mentality. It's
Ah,
unfortunately a negative
well,
form of my early depression.
you can say that again, June. You can say that again 1 million times. I know.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not trying to be successful. I just want to
Mhm.
be significant
Yeah.
and make a difference in my, like my 50 years of my architectural journey in 40 countries and speaking engagements in 20 countries, including Russia. I spoke 4 times in Russia,
Mhm.
and the fourth talk, they requested me to talk only about the Philippines.
You
And
know, mhm.
there's so many positive things about our country. I
It's
had the
true. It's true.
opportunity
It's true.
to change
Mhm.
my passport, but I love our country. We're so blessed. It's
Actually, June,
yeah,
you know what? Um, I'd like to highlight this, that not all Filipinos are for sale,
forcing.
or not all Filipinos can be bought, because
Yeah,
there are really Filipinos who are so principled, and they're priceless, like you.
yeah,
They're priceless. People who cannot be bought are priceless, like you.
yeah.
So let me just ask you soon, how, with this kind of principle, because there are a lot of corrupt. I mean, let's not name names, but not only locally but internationally. But how were you brought up by your parents in such a way that you're not just there as a commercial architect, but you're there as a caring architect, not just caring for for humanity, but you're also caring for the environment, you're caring for everyone. I mean, you're such a holistic person and so refreshing. How did your parents bring you up? I
Yeah,
think it has something to do about family.
yeah. My parents, my father was a doctor of medicine. My
Mm-hmm,
mother was a teacher. My mother was my art teacher, and my
mm-hmm.
two grandmothers, they had an impact on me also because I come from a family of 12 siblings,
Uh-huh. Okay.
and we go to church every day,
Mm,
observe masses, and so on. That's probably why my first vocation was to be a
priesthood.
priest,
Yeah.
and that's already brought up
Mm-hmm,
principles and
mm-hmm,
helping others also. One of them,
mm-hmm,
and my parents were very humble. They
mm-hmm,
help others. My father was
mm-hmm,
a doctor,
mm-hmm,
a rural physician, and
mm-hmm,
he does patients would pay him in vegetables,
mm-hmm,
chickens,
mm-hmm.
and so on, not
Yeah, yeah,
monetary.
yeah. Mm,
whatever capability they had. My mother the same,
mm,
and I think that's how we were brought up. And
mm,
and a family of 10 surviving children at that time. There was also some friendly competition among siblings. Maybe
mm,
that's how
mm,
we hone our
mm,
our skills and so
mm,
on, and
mm.
going beyond academics, like team sports and so on, prayers and even every day we pray together as a family.
You
Every
pray together as a family.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Um,
there was
and
no
what did you learn from your grandparents? I
my
need
my
to.
my, my paternal grandmother.
Mhm.
She taught me how to read in the first vowels and alphabets in Spanish. Then
Mhm.
my maternal grandmother, music, but she
Mhm.
was not very successful in teaching me piano because
Oh yeah, because you grew up in a province.
yeah, in
In a
Ilocos,
Hispanic, it's a Hispanic community, right? Or a
yeah,
Hispanic province, right? My
yeah,
mom also from my
yeah,
mother is from that part of the Philippines,
yeah,
so I
yeah.
know.
So the church and the and
Yeah,
beach resorts,
yeah,
church and we are a happy family. Like we have our own basketball courts inside,
yeah.
which I
Mm,
helped build. I was like the foreman.
mhm,
Then there was music in our home. My
mhm,
my all my sisters they play piano very well, and we played the guitar and other instruments. And a lot of people came to our home like play basketball and table tennis and all of that. So
are all brothers and sisters like you? Are they also principled? They can't be bought. They're also modest like you and humble. Because I remember one time you spoke and I praised you and you said like I think I'm getting more praises than I'm getting
yeah,
more recognition than I I'm
I
getting
deserve.
more
Yeah,
recognition
I think
than
I'm getting more credit and than I deserve.
yeah,
More
but
than my
you know,
siblings. Yeah,
deep in my mind, I was saying like, oh my goodness, he's so modest and he's so humble. I mean, how and so it made me think like, how did you grow up? Like, how did your parents bring you up? Because it has something to do with upbringing.
yeah, and the
And
seminary very big impact
mm,
because we have missionaries from mentors from Germany, from the U.S., the rest of
mm,
Europe,
mm,
discipline. And they taught me
discipline.
leadership. Like I was a
Uh-huh,
class senior and freshman,
uh-huh, uh-huh.
grading my own classmates in discipline and orderliness. I was a
Ah,
librarian. I was a
ah,
timekeeper. I was a
oh,
president of the Mason Club. I was an
mm.
editor. Despite my height, I was a varsity player of basketball.
Oh, wow. So
And
you're well-rounded. You know,
yeah,
you do
yeah,
sports,
somehow,
you do
yeah, I like,
socialization.
yeah,
Okay. When you say no, because you say no to I know you. When someone offers you a project, these projects are not peanuts. You know, I know you. I mean, you know. So how do you say no to millions of
yeah.
money?
Usually,
How do you say no to millions? I mean, you know, I mean, the reason I'm asking you this is because there are a lot of people who cannot let go of money. They'd rather have the money and destroy the world. But you're just totally the antithesis.
yeah,
You'd rather not earn than destroy the world.
I
This
get
is really
advice.
what I would like to stress nowadays. Oh my goodness, viewers. If we can only do, all of us, be like Architect Palafox, our world will be a better world. Okay, Architect, how can you say no to millions of money?
Yeah, I pray over it. I ask
You pray.
guidance
So
from
you're really a
The Holy Spirit,
prayerful person.
the
Holy
Holy
Spirit.
Spirit
Oh.
for discernment, and I ask experts also to guide me. Like one big project I gave up, I asked a transportation planner from Los Angeles.
Mm-mm.
What the client wants was high density, high rise, big development,
Mm-hmm.
and it would create a 14-hour traffic gridlock.
Mm-hmm.
I gave up the project and I
Mm-hmm.
told my client let's just agree to disagree on this project. Give me other projects.
The one that's also one in LA.
No, in the Philippines. I will not mention anymore. But the transportation planner is from Los Angeles.
Ah,
So
okay,
he
okay.
made 1,000 logarithms that the
Mm,
project will create
mm,
14-hour gridlock in
mm,
the community.
mm.
And also, the name of the project is not being truthful.
Oh,
Name it in a location that's not the name of the barangay or something. So again, I'm a Rotarian.
mm-mm.
Is it the truth? So
Yeah,
again,
the four-way test. Okay.
building project, of course,
Mm-hmm,
the fees will be worth millions. And
mm-hmm.
many of the projects that I do, when I give it up, some colleagues in the profession, they take over the project, and sometimes they even badmouth me.
Yeah,
And
I know. I know too.
that's very unfortunate. And going back to that uh, six-star hotel that I gave up, $1 million, it opened up new opportunities, windows of opportunity, like the investors from Kuwait, $1 billion investment in Clark, they appointed me. The largest mosque in the country, Cotabato, the Sultan of Brunei, I'm not even a Muslim architect, they
Mhm.
appointed me. The Qatar would have been the largest embassy in the world outside Qatar, Doha. They appointed us. The U.S. government
Yeah.
uh, battle monuments in 5 countries. We were the only non-Americans invited in a competition, and we won it because giving up that $1 million. And up, I got so many, especially for international investors, when they heard about those things that
Yeah.
Filipino
Okay.
architect, it
Um,
was principle. Yeah,
yeah. All right, June. I'm just thinking about this. Because if you are a hard-boiled person, you're either black or white. You really get a lot of detractors and enemies, right? Um, but then what is the advantage of being a hard boiled, of not being a turncoat, of not being a gray, people who are in the gray area always, right? I see you as someone who's like black or white. And what is the advantage of that, you being an architect and a business person?
yeah,
Like, they know you being principled, so they know that they know that they cannot fool around with you. So, what are the advantages of this for you, being a business person, being an architect?
yeah. I sleep better at night. I'm at
Yes.
with myself. That's one. And I can be a good exemplar to others and
Mm-hmm.
also helping our country. And those are many, and those who 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 hate or envy me think so much about me, their jealousies. I
Mm-hmm.
have a free rent in their minds. I'm not paying
Yes.
rent for the space they use in hating me, wanting to bring me down in their minds. It's a free rent, and I think I can sleep better than them.
You can say that again, June. I mean, not only you, I mean, you're talking to me as well. And I think it's because we are early adapters, and that they cannot really understand the way we think and the way we do things. And so that's why maybe they think like, they do have limiting beliefs in themselves. And so that's why maybe they would think like, okay, um, they might not believe in what we're doing, but especially you, because you are really just so accomplished. But the way I see you, June, is that you're just so principled, and I think never mind them, never mind these, never mind these people with crab mentality or people who are jealous, because you're reaping good karma.
Yeah. I'm
What are these
also
good karma that you're reaping? I'd like to know. I mean, people can see it. We can read all about you all over. But then, I'd like you to tell me the good karma that you are
yeah.
reaping out of the good work that
Yeah.
you've been sowing.
there's such a thing as divine justice.
Divine justice. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm also a sinner, but every before I
Mm-hmm.
sleep, I ask forgiveness from
Mm-hmm.
our Creator
Mm-hmm.
and pray for my detractors as well.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow talking about corruption, I think only 1% of Filipinos are corrupt, but the 98.99% no longer care, they don't bother, or
Mm-hmm.
they're not courageous enough to speak up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have so much corruption. People talk
Mm-hmm.
about corruption, but when you ask, can you testify? They are
Mm-hmm.
scared or don't
They're
care.
scared.
We truth
Oh.
tellers and whistleblowers, we're
Mm-hmm.
probably 0.001% of our population. If we
Mm-hmm.
only have 10% brave Filipinos, patriotic Filipinos to expose corruption, I think we should be in the top 20 economies in the world.
Most definitely so. Yes, I
And
know. Yeah.
I say, if we have three good presidents,
Mm-hmm.
that's 6,000 days, by
Mm-hmm.
2040, we can be in the top, we can be in the first world. Uh,
I
uh,
believe so. Yeah.
and then
I
by
believe
20,
so. Yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
2050,
Mm-hmm.
we can be in the top 20 economies in the world. You know why? You may want to ask me.
Mm-hmm.
We are number one in the world in marine biodiversity. We're
Yeah.
number one
Biodiversity, marine
in sailors.
biodiversity.
Sailors.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yeah.
number one now in call centers. I'd
Mm-hmm.
like to believe we are number one in nurses. We're
Mm-hmm.
number two in the world in geothermal energy. Now number
Mm-hmm.
two in BPOs. We have the
Mm-hmm.
third longest coastline in the world. Other
Mm-hmm.
countries, they go to war because they don't have coastline.
Right. Right.
Dubai creating the Palm Islands and
Yes.
excavating the desert to have a waterfront.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
we're number four in the world now in shipbuilding, thanks to the
Ship.
Japanese
Ah.
and the Koreans. We're also
Ah.
number four in gold reserves. We're
Oh
number
yeah. I heard so. Yeah.
we're number five in all other mineral resources. We
Mm-hmm.
are number 12 in human resources, and the Filipino
Mm-hmm.
expat rate is the preferred employees of employers all over the world. If you rotate the map of the world, we are in the center of the world. It's no wonder we are the Asia Pacific hub of Spanish Europe for more than 300 years. 2 years the
Mm-hmm.
British, 50 years the Americans, and
Mm-hmm.
4 years the Japanese. So every superpower country will always be interested in our beautiful islands. And the Philippines is 400 times the size of Singapore, 350 times the size of Hong Kong,
Mm-hmm.
8 times the size of Taiwan, three
Mm-hmm.
times the size of South Korea. We're so
Mm-hmm.
blessed.
And
And we
very talented people as well.
yeah, trainable,
Mm.
English speaking, and demographic soft spot. I think our
And
Africa,
let me add also, when we, when Filipinos are just known to be, not, I mean, to be financially disadvantaged when they go out, right, of the country. But then they're known to be honest and hardworking. I
yeah,
think, yeah. Mm.
yeah, in our population, average age is 26. The rest of many parts of the world now are aging or aged
Yeah.
population. Yeah.
So sorry. I actually had heavy colds like what I told you, but I cannot anymore cancel this because this is just really just so humbled
Okay,
that
it's more
you
normal. It's normal.
just so humbled that you really gave us this time to be
Oh,
interviewed by
I
us.
apologize. I think we've been trying to
Yeah.
meet since before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then okay, June, right. What is your, for the young generation, I hope that because I really just appreciate you so much, June, because you know the stages of your life, like when you told me, like, now this is your age of significance, striving for significance. Maybe you're already are done with your striving for relevance, so now you're striving for significance. Um, please leave this kind of advice because very few people around the world know what their direction in life is, what their purpose in life is, and what is the difference between relevance and significance. That's I mean, if you can only impart this to our younger generation and even just to the older ones who are listening to us right now, this can help them a lot.
Yes,
June.
ma'am. Really, always try your best, and God will do the rest.
Ah.
Then when you have challenges in your life,
Mhm.
BTS.
BTS.
Believe, trust, and surrender to our Creator. BTS.
Believe, trust, and
And
surrender.
surrender.
Ah,
Then
okay.
and then always doing your best. And these are quotable quotes, not original from me.
Uh-huh.
Like when better is doable, good
Mhm.
is not good enough.
Aha! I like that.
And
When
then
better is doable,
doable,
good
good
is
is not
not
good
good
enough.
enough.
In Filipino,
Ah,
hindi pwede yung pwede na.
yes.
Even pwede
Ah,
yung baka makalusot.
yeah.
Yung
Ah,
integrity,
integrity and
uh,
perfection or
doing your,
excellence. I think
yeah,
you wanted to say excellence, right?
the
I
excellence
mean,
is first.
Filipino, hindi pwede na, meaning, pag pwede na, it's just good enough, right? But
Yeah.
you wanted to say like strive for excellence.
Yeah. And
Mm.
I tell my colleagues, like, if you make a mistake for the first time, it's
Mm-hmm.
understandable. The
Mm-hmm.
same mistake for a second time,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to understand.
Mm-hmm.
You make the same
Mm-hmm.
mistake for the third time, you must be
Mm-hmm.
so stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say
Yeah.
the first,
I
second
think
time starts
I
it
heard,
to lessons learned. Yeah.
yeah, I heard someone say like, if you make a mistake once in a while, that's okay. Well, if you make mistake many times in a while, then you're stupid.
Send them a recommendation letter,
Mhm.
relocate the problem to the next employer.
Mm.
Mhm.
Okay. So, thank you so much, June. I know that, oh my goodness, if you speak with John, one day is not enough, to speak about, his principles, his philosophies, his background, his studies, his travels. You cannot get enough of June. But then, he's a very busy person, and his EA just told me that he only has a few minutes for this interview. So I'm going to round this up now, but I hope to be able to, I hope we will be able to have him as our guest again here at PBC TV's Crazy Talks with Wise People with Mary Angela Moore. June, would you please give your parting words to our audience, please?
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I may have said it earlier. Everything we do, we can sanctify it. And
Sanctify.
if we do a good job, think of the beneficiaries. If you do a lousy job, think of the sufferers. And again, everything we do is pro Deo, patria et terra.
What's that? That's Latin.
That's Latin. Pro Deo for God,
For God.
patria for country,
Uh-huh.
et terra for planet Earth.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Por Deo, por Patria,
Et
por
terra, terra, terra,
Terra.
the land,
Terra.
terra.
Planet.
Yeah.
Terra.
Pro
Ah,
Deo for God,
okay.
patria
Oh,
your country or homeland, and
yeah.
terra for planet
Terra for planet Earth.
Mother Earth, for the Earth.
Mother Earth. Oh, okay. We've learned a lot from our guest today. And so I'd like to reiterate this. Every time we do something, we must think of, Mother Earth, of our country, and God. Oh, yeah, my goodness, yes. So if we think of God, country, and Mother Earth before we do anything, then we will be able to improve the way we live on Earth. Thank you so much, June, and thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. He's the PA architect, our honorable, very honorable guest here, um, June Palafox. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to call you by your first name. I know that you're a very honorable person. Okay. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us. And until next week, bye for now.
Thank you. God
Bye. Thank
bless.
you.
Take care.
God bless. Take
Keep safe.
care.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you too. Bye.